When you wake up in the morning, you are not just opening your eyes, you are opening the door to who you can become. And if you want to become someone who speaks confident, powerful, fluent English, it starts with what you do in those first minutes of your day. Most people wait for the perfect time to practice. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until their environment is perfect. But champions don't wait. They create their own momentum every morning by feeding their mind with the language they want to master. So before your day gets noisy, before messages, responsibilities, and distractions arrive, give yourself 5 minutes to listen to English. It can be a podcast, an audiobook, a speech, anything you enjoy. Because the way your day starts determines the way your mind performs. When you feed your mind English in the morning, your brain stays in English all day. And don't just listen. Activate your voice. Speak out loud before you speak to anyone else. Most people try to speak confidently in English without warming up their voice, and then they wonder why their sentences break, why their mind freezes, or why words don't flow. It's because your tongue is a muscle, and every muscle needs activation. So when you wake up, say anything out loud in English, read a paragraph, repeat a sentence, describe your room, talk about your goals. It doesn't matter what you say, it matters that you start your day speaking the language you're trying to master. Then write. Pick up your phone or your notebook and write one paragraph in English every morning. Because when you write, you slow your mind down enough to organize your thoughts. You learn structure, clarity, and precision. Writing forces you to use the vocabulary you already know and exposes the vocabulary you don't. Some people want better English, but they don't want to sit down and write. But the people who write daily become the ones who express themselves confidently because they train their mind to think in English instead of constantly translating in their head. Learn one new word every morning. You don't need 50 new words. You need one word used 50 times. Mastery isn't about quantity, it's about consistency. One strong word used all day becomes a permanent part of your language. And when you do this every day, you don't just grow your vocabulary, you build your confidence because you know every single day you're adding something new to your skill set. Small daily deposits compound into big fluency gains. Move your body while you practice. Walk and speak. Stretch while listening. Exercise with English playing in your headphones. When your body moves, your brain becomes more awake, more creative, and more focused. You learn better when your physiology is activated. If you attach English to something physical, it becomes easier, more enjoyable, and more natural. You stop seeing English as a difficult subject and start seeing it as part of your lifestyle. And finally, set your daily English intention. Don't just hope you improve, decide what you will improve today. Will today be about vocabulary, about pronunciation, about listening, about confidence? Focus creates progress. When you start your morning with intention, your brain becomes alert to every opportunity to grow in that specific area. Suddenly, conversations become practice, videos become lessons, and mistakes become teachers. Your morning routine is not just about learning English. It's about becoming the kind of person who grows daily, invests in themselves, and refuses to stay stuck. You don't need perfect grammar to start. You don't need perfect fluency to begin. You just need a routine that aligns with the version of you who speaks with clarity, boldness, and excellence. Every morning is a new opportunity. Every morning is a fresh start. Every morning is a step toward the fluent version of you. Start strong, stay consistent, and let your morning build the English-speaking champion you were always meant to become. When you open your eyes in the morning, your mind is fresh, open, and ready to be programmed. That first hour of your day is the most valuable real estate in your entire 24 hours. Because whatever you feed your mind with becomes the direction your thoughts follow. If you start your day scrolling mindlessly, your mind becomes scattered. But if you start your day feeding yourself English input, your mind becomes focused, intentional, and aligned with your goal of becoming fluent. You don't need an hour, you don't even need 30 minutes. You need 5 strong focused minutes of listening to English before anything else. When you choose an English podcast, an audiobook, a motivational message, or even a simple short video, you're giving your mind a language environment it wants to adapt to. Your brain is like a sponge in the morning. It absorbs faster, remembers better, and processes more clearly. That's why the first thing you hear in the morning matters. If the first voice you hear is in English, your brain automatically shifts into learning mode. You're not forcing yourself to study, you're setting the tone for the day. Most people wait until the evening to practice English when their mind is tired and distracted. But champions flip the script. They put English in their ears before the world gets loud. They don't leave their language growth to chance, they take ownership of it. By feeding your mind English input early, you create momentum that lasts all day. Suddenly you notice new words. You catch phrases you never noticed before, and you think in English without forcing. It's not about perfection. It's about exposure. It's about building a habit so strong that your mind expects English every morning the same way it expects sunlight. That small act of listening becomes a signal to your brain, this is who we are. This is what we do. This is the person we're becoming. And when your mornings begin with that kind of alignment, your fluency doesn't just improve. Your confidence rises, your motivation strengthens, and your relationship with the language transforms completely. Most people don't realize that their voice is one of their greatest tools for mastering a language. You can listen all day, you can watch videos for hours, but if you don't open your mouth and activate your voice, your fluency stays locked inside your mind. That's why you must speak out loud before you speak to anyone else. The moment you wake up, your mind is clear, your thoughts are uncluttered, and your confidence hasn't been challenged by the world yet. This is the perfect time to train your tongue, your rhythm, and your flow in English. Because your voice is like a muscle. If you don't warm it up, it won't perform when you need it. When you speak out loud first thing in the morning, you're telling your brain, English is our priority today. You are programming your mouth to shape the sounds correctly. You are sharpening your thinking, and you are building the courage to use your voice throughout the day, even if your pronunciation isn't perfect. Even if you make mistakes, even if you stumble over your words, the simple act of speaking out loud activates fluency in a way that nothing else can. Silence kills confidence. Speaking builds it. You don't need a script. You don't need a teacher. You don't need a perfect sentence. You just need to speak. Describe what you see. Talk about how you feel. Repeat a sentence you heard. Read a paragraph from a book. Say your goals out loud in English. Anything works because the goal is not to sound perfect. The goal is to train your brain and your mouth to work together. And when you do this before anyone else hears your voice, there is no judgment, no pressure, no fear. It's just you and your growth. This habit changes everything. When you speak early in the day, you break the barrier that stops most learners, hesitation. You remove the fear of the first sentence. You tell your mind, we already spoke today, we can speak again. And throughout the day, conversations become easier, thoughts flow smoother, and you start expressing yourself without translation. That early moment of speaking becomes a foundation of confidence that carries you through every English interaction you face. This is how you build fluency. Not by waiting for confidence, but by creating confidence with your voice before the world has a chance to silence it. Writing one powerful paragraph every morning is one of the most transformative habits you can build for your English fluency. Because when you write, you are not just putting words on paper, you are organizing your thoughts, sharpening your mind, and training your brain to think in the language you want to master. Most people believe fluency comes only from speaking, but real fluency starts in your mind. If your thoughts are unclear, your words will be unclear. Writing forces clarity. It makes you slow down just enough to choose better words, form stronger sentences, and express deeper ideas. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need a full page. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need one paragraph that reflects your thoughts, your goals, your feelings, or even a simple description of your day. When you commit to this every morning, your vocabulary naturally expands because you start noticing words you wish you knew. Your grammar improves because your eyes catch patterns your ears often miss. Your confidence grows because you see your progress written in front of you. Writing one paragraph daily is like building a mental gym. Each sentence is a repetition. Each word is a weight, and every morning you become a little bit stronger. Over time, those paragraphs become a record of your growth, proof that you're not staying the same, proof that you're investing in your mind, proof that you're committed to excellence. It's not about producing a masterpiece. It's about developing consistency, discipline, and a deeper connection with the language. Writing in the morning puts you in control of your day. It tells your mind, I am choosing to grow. I am choosing to improve. I am choosing to master this language. And when you start your day with that level of intentionality, the confidence you build from that simple paragraph carries into your speaking, your listening, and every English interaction you face. This is how you transform from someone who uses English sometimes into someone who owns it every single day. Learning one new word and using it all day is one of the simplest yet most powerful strategies for building real, lasting fluency. Most learners overwhelm themselves by trying to memorize long vocabulary lists, but the truth is, you don't need to learn 20 words a day. You need to master one word with intention. When you choose one new word in the morning, you're not just expanding your vocabulary, you're sharpening your awareness. You start noticing how that word appears in conversations and videos and books and podcasts. Your brain becomes alert to it, and anything you pay attention to grows. Using that word throughout your day turns passive knowledge into active skill. The moment you apply a word in a sentence, your own sentence, you take ownership of it. You move it from memory into mastery. And mastery doesn't happen by accident. It happens through repetition, usage, and confidence. When you use the word with friends, when you write it in your paragraph, when you say it out loud during your morning practice, you're creating neural connections that make the word yours forever. This habit also trains discipline. It teaches you to be intentional with your learning instead of scattered. One word may seem small, but small daily improvements create massive long-term results. Imagine learning one new word each day for a year. You would have 365 new tools in your vocabulary, not just memorized, but mastered. And every time you use that word in real conversation, your confidence increases because you're proving to yourself that you're not just learning English, you're owning it. The goal is not to add pressure. The goal is to build momentum. One word, one decision, one commitment every morning. That single word becomes a reminder that you're growing, that you're evolving, and that you're becoming more fluent one intentional day at a time. This is how transformation happens, not by trying to do everything at once, but by doing the right small thing consistently. Using English while you move is one of the most effective ways to make the language a natural part of your life instead of something you only study. Movement wakes up your brain. When your body is active, walking, stretching, exercising, your mind becomes sharper, more focused, and more open to learning. This is why combining physical activity with English practice creates such powerful results. You're not sitting stiff, forcing yourself to memorize. You're engaging your whole system. Your energy rises, your creativity opens, and your confidence expands because your body and mind are working together instead of fighting each other. When you walk and speak in English, your thoughts flow more freely. When you stretch while listening to a podcast, your mind absorbs more easily. When you exercise with English audio in your ears, you attach the language to a positive physical state. This removes boredom, breaks resistance, and turns learning from a mental struggle into a natural rhythm. You stop thinking of English as a subject and start experiencing it as a lifestyle. Using English while you move also removes fear. When you're walking alone, talking out loud, there's no pressure, no judgment, no fear of making mistakes. You can practice pronunciation, repeat sentences, test new words, and build fluency in a comfortable, natural way. And because your body is already in motion, your mind becomes more willing to take risks, try new expressions, and speak more boldly. Movement creates freedom, and freedom creates confidence. The goal is not to create extra time for English. The goal is to merge English with the time you already have. Every step becomes practice. Every workout becomes exposure. Every moment of movement becomes a chance to grow. And when you connect English with your body, you reduce stress, increase enjoyment, and build a habit that feels effortless. This is how you make learning sustainable, by turning your daily motions into daily mastery. Setting a daily English intention is one of the most powerful habits you can build if you want to see real progress. Most people approach language learning passively, hoping that somehow exposure will eventually lead to improvement. But champions know that growth requires focus, purpose, and direction. When you start your morning by deciding exactly what aspect of English you will improve today, whether it's vocabulary, pronunciation, listening, or speaking, you are giving your brain a target. Your mind begins to filter opportunities throughout the day, noticing moments where you can practice, correct, and apply what you're learning. Without intention, your efforts scatter. With intention, every word, every sentence, and every interaction becomes a tool for growth. your daily intention also creates accountability. When you commit to improving a specific skill, you are not leaving progress to chance. You are actively shaping your day so that each hour contributes to mastery. For example, if today's intention is to improve pronunciation, you will find yourself repeating sentences, speaking out loud, and correcting your own mistakes wherever you are. If your focus is vocabulary, you'll seek opportunities to use new words in conversation or writing. The intention guides your attention, and attention is the currency of mastery. Intentional practice builds confidence as well. When you end your day having acted on your intention, you feel accomplishment. You see growth because your efforts are purposeful, measurable, and consistent. Over time, these daily intentions compound. One day becomes two. Two become a week becomes a month. And suddenly your English is not just better, it's owned, internalized, and a natural part of who you are. Setting a daily intention is not a small habit, it is the foundation of transformation. It tells your mind, I am here to grow, I am here to improve, I am here to master English. And when you lead your day with purpose like this, fluency becomes inevitable. Fluency in English is not something that happens by chance. It is built moment by moment, day by day, through intentional habits and consistent action. When you start your mornings by feeding your mind with English, speaking out loud, writing with purpose, learning and using new words, moving while practicing, and setting a clear daily intention, you are not just learning a language. You are transforming yourself. You are becoming someone who thinks, speaks, and lives in English with confidence and clarity. Growth doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment. It comes from using the moments you already have to create progress. Every morning is a fresh opportunity to practice, improve, and step closer to mastery. Commit to your routine, own your process, and watch as your English and your confidence soars to levels you never thought possible. This is how ordinary mornings turn into extraordinary transformation, one habit at a time.